Major breaking news tonight for evening's LALATE. A world exclusive you'll only hear on this channel. We now know why no one has been repurposing CARES Act 1 money. That $800 billion that's sitting at SBA that could be repurposed as a $5,000 stimulus check. Why has it never happened? Why have Republicans always wanted to repurpose CARES Act 1 money, but Democrats have not? The answer, surprisingly, is coming in today's negotiations for that stimulus package to come with the continuing resolution bill. No deal, and by all accounts, as we sit here on a Saturday evening, it looks like it's dead. Dead because of something to do with repurposing CARES Act 1 money. There's a big shocking development, and this is the only channel that's going to explain to you why no one wants to repurpose that CARES Act 1 money for you. They want to use it for something else. You're going to have a jaw drop to the floor. I did when I figured it out. Get ready for this massive world bombshell exclusive. This is Evening's LALATE. Good evening, everybody. This is Evening's LALATE. It's here on the West Coast, a Saturday night. It's a little bit easy breezy, but it's getting cold by the hour. But it's going to get very cold when I tell you what is unfolding in that congressional negotiations for the second stimulus and what's going on with the repurposing CARES Act 1 money. Please subscribe because no one follows the money better than you and I. We've always been focused on numbers. We don't focus on adjectives and adverbs and superlatives. We focus on money. Money to you right now, not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now. I'm getting viewers that money with state stimulus and state rent and state utilities and state food and state gifts. Thousands and thousands of dollars, and I'll continue to do so on the video right after this, Purple, which goes live shortly after this recording. But in this tape recording, you're about to jaw drop. So please subscribe to this channel. Also, like this video. And make sure you also hit the alert button on the front of this channel so you get an alert when a new video goes live. Tonight in this recording, I'm going to explain for the first time ever why the deal in congressional negotiations for the second stimulus are falling apart and what that has to do with repurposing CARES Act 1 money. I'm not going to wait a second. I'm going to get right to it. Let's get to the breaking news. The reason why is because the Democrats want an open blank check ready for Joe Biden. Let me explain what's going on. Over the last 4 months, I've wondered every time I've talked about repurposing CARES Act 1 money. I say it, you say it, the White House says it, the Republicans say it, but the Democrats run from it. The Democrats have consistently not wanted to repurpose existing money that's sitting around for new stimulus to go out. Why? Tonight I can tell you why. They don't want to use it. They want to keep it for Joe Biden to use it on something other than you. They want to take new money out of Treasury to pay for stuff for you right now. They don't want to have that extra free money sitting around to be used for you now. They want to save it for something Joe Biden wants to do. Why do we know that? Because tonight we see why the negotiations in Washington are falling apart. Because of a provision that was inserted in the later days of this week in which it called for the end of a special provision enacted under CARES Act 1 that allowed Treasury to create a fund in which they could fund the Federal Reserve for emergency relief and continue to fund it without calls of Congress, without congressional oversight, without rhyme or reason as to how the money flows in and out. It would basically be an open door for Treasury to fund Federal Reserve. If you saw in the recent weeks, Steve Mnuchin pulled some money back from the Federal Reserve, canceled the program, pulled the money back. That was the first thing. I already told you, state and local, that unused CARES Act 1 money, that's coming back as well. I've also told you that $800 billion of CARES Act 1 at SBA, that's not going to sit there forever. That will get pulled back from Steve Mnuchin, I've been predicting you as well. Why? because the White House, the Republicans, and Steve Mnuchin at Treasury are saying the following. That was an emergency program we set up in March to fund things out and send the money right out to Federal Reserve and other organizations. But now that we are at where we are in December, if you need new money, you need to do bills and bills and bills. You can't just have blank checks. This was a blank check provision, and we're not having that going forward. Why would someone want a blank check and not just simply do a bill? Because they want to do programs that no one would otherwise support. They want to do programs and fund things in a way that would not require congressional oversight. Someone who wants to have a blank check wants to do things that does not need a congressional bill or would never pass congressional support. See what I'm talking about? I told you about 2 weeks ago when Joe Biden started to announce his cabinet picks through the broadcast news, he said in his comments, this person will use their furthest authority to ensure that money goes out. And when I heard that, I told you on air, I said, this is a weird way of talking. What does that mean, use their fullest authority to send money out? You got to get Congress to approve to have money out. No, you don't. Not if there's a fund, like a slush fund in a way, that just simply sends money from Treasury. Just sends it out from Treasury, goes to the agency, just sends it to the Federal Reserve, and then the Federal Reserve sends it out. It sounds like a nice river of money. Treasury to the Federal Reserve, Treasury Reserve to all these agencies, and no congressional oversight. Now, what does this have to do with you? This has to do with you that no one gives a darn about you and your stimulus check. They care about pet projects of Joe Biden's getting funded, like infrastructure at $7 trillion in January. What about my $2,400 of SSI and SSDI? What about my multiple stimulus checks? What about my hazard pay? What about my stimulus check now? What about my FPUC retroactive at $600 a week from January going back? He's promising them, but is he going to fund them with these things? I don't think so. I don't think he's going to fund any of these things with that blank check process they want to keep in place. They're going to fund it with new programs. Are they going to refund? They're going to fund it with repurposing CARES Act 1? Absolutely not. That money that's currently at CARES Act 1, they want to put to something else. Something that has nothing to do with you. If they wanted to put it to something that has to do with you, they could do it now. They have not. When we talk about that $600 billion or $800 billion, I say it's $800 billion. Larry Kudlow says $600 billion. Larry Kudlow says, why don't they just repurpose this in this December continuing resolution? Repurpose it for the FPUC. Repurpose it for the unemployment. Larry Kudlow has talked about repurposing money as starting about a month after I first started saying it. Then Steve Mnuchin started writing letters to the Democrats, repurpose money. The White House, President Donald Trump, has tweeted the words repurpose CARES Act 1 money. Every time the Democrats have been offered the opportunity to repurpose unused money from CARES Act 1, they said, no, leave it there. Don't spend it on Americans. This is not a bad Republican thing. This is a bad Democratic thing. When we first heard about this earlier today, we thought, oh, this is another Ron Johnson thing. No, this is a bad Democratic thing. They're trying not to use unused CARES Act 1 money that was ultimately to be used on you. It's not supposed to be used on big business. It was not supposed to be used on infrastructure. It was not supposed to be used on highways and freeways. It was supposed to be used on you. They don't want to repurpose that money now, the Democrats, on you. They want to sit it around to be used on some pet project that Joe Biden wants to do that has nothing to do with you in January. Now the battle today is over language in a bill which into itself may not sound very good by the Republicans. The Democrats may be right on this. The language of the bill says, there should be the opportunity to send money between Treasury and the Federal Reserve. It makes logical sense. But why would someone have an issue with it now when that same someone doesn't want to use the money at Treasury that's available for you now? In other words, let me say it this way. The Democrats don't want this provision that says there'll no longer be this sort of nice blank check between Treasury and the Federal Reserve. The Democrats want that blank check there because they want Biden to be able to fund things going forward. The question is, okay, that sounds normal. I can understand that. That sounds like a good idea. But then why aren't you using the unused CARES Act 1 money now on us? You're not using the money that's extra sitting around on us, and then you want extra money in January for some again. If you keep on seeing someone ask for extra money and not spending the extra money on you, then you see what they're up to. The Democrats are up to continually trying to get unused money sitting around and then sending it out to something that has nothing to do with a stimulus check, FPUC, hazard pay, rent, EIDL, PPP, nothing to do with you. They want all this extra money sitting around so that they can send it out for something for Joe Biden wants to do. And who knows what it is? It could be state and local. It could be it could be the environment. It could be infrastructure. But that is what's brewing tonight. And it's brewing tonight in a way in which the deal is about to implode. Broadcast news, whether it's Politico, whether it's CNBC, they're all saying it's on the tipping edge of falling apart. And at this point, I think millions of Americans have had it. I've really had it. On Holidays, LA, I asked viewers what you thought of the situation. And I said, in light of the fact that it looks like they're trying to really stick you with a $600 stimulus check, even though we don't know the amount, it looks like they're trying to get rid of your FPUC at 30 weeks, which you've been waiting around for 30 weeks for. It looks like they're not going to give you any type of additional relief, that they're going to basically say, here's $600, maybe you'll get it by, December 30th, and then you'll get $300 of FPUC starting, maybe in February. Does that look like a good deal? 9 out of 10 viewers in the room said no. There was 1,500 people watching live and said, no, that's not a good deal. So now, is this all falling apart? And ultimately, should it fall apart? 9 out of 10 viewers said it should fall apart. They said this is horrible. They have not treated us right. This is not sufficient. And ultimately, if you want to do it right, then you do it right after in mid-January. If you're promising certain things, then come and deliver, because this is not delivering. This is not multiple stimulus checks. This is not FPUC retroactive. This is not FPUC going forward at $600 a week. This is not a clear this is not the rebate to your $10,000 EIDL grant. This is not the EIDL grant that viewers didn't get. This is not hazard pay. This is not the $2,400 of SSI and SSDI. We're being promised all these things. Where are these things? We're not hearing them. We're not seeing them. What we are hearing is that people want lots of extra money to sit around for something they want to do. Ooh. Let me give you a hint. That money is not to do their hairstyle. That money is not to get $12 ice cream. That money is to do something very big and has nothing to do with you. Because if it did have something to do with you, they would have spent it on you already. And there you go. That's the bombshell for a Saturday evening. You're not going to hear that anywhere else, and you're not going to hear that analysis anywhere else. And in my heart of hearts, I'm 99% positive that's correct. That is what's going on with this failure to repurpose CARES Act 1 money, and this is what's going on in the battle tonight. In the battle tonight, in which they're saying there's a deal provision that could implode it, they're not explaining why the deal provision is so important to them. Steve Mnuchin reported to news that he did indicate to the Republicans he supports the provision. In fact, he's one of the backers of the provision that would call for an end of this sort of blank check between the Federal Reserve and Treasury. And he's, of course, the Treasury Secretary. Mitch McConnell says it's a deal breaker provision. They are not taking it out. They're requiring that provision in there that would end this blank check process. And when I say blank check, it's the easiest way to describe a very complicated process. So I'm just using very simple words for you. And then the Democrats have made it very clear they will not sign off on anything if that provision's in there. Ironically, they'll fold like a lawn chair if you go to a $200 stimulus check or a $1.50 stimulus check. But when there's something cutting off Joe Biden's pet projects that have nothing to do with you, or if it involves not allowing them to repurpose CARES Act 1, not allowing them to have extra CARES Act 1 money sitting around for their disposal after January 25th, then they're going to kill it. In fact, what the Democrats are now trying to set up is essentially any of that repurposed, that unused CARES Act 1 money that's sitting around that has to be used or lose, including the $800 billion, they want that money to stay there until after Inauguration Day. I've told you it's not going to stay there past December 15th. Well, some of it's coming home, some of it will come home, and that, believe me, that SBA money, you're going to wake up one morning, as I've been telling you for weeks, it's going to be gone. And Treasury's going to ensure that it's gone, and that's when the shouts are going to really hit the fan. With that, there's so much developing. Do I see a deal formulating over the weekend? As I sit here on a Sunday night, I do not. Saturday night, I do not. Things can change by the minute. No one heard about this deal provisions less than, 8 hours ago. This is a new issue. And as AOC started the Saturday morning with the following comments, no one is telling anyone in Congress what's going on in these deal provisions. We're being filtered things little by little. They were told about this, and the Democrats took their position and the Republicans took their position. What is your position? Drop in the comments below. I'll also answer the same questions as well on Purple Power Live coming up next after this video. The good news is that there really is money available from your states, cities, and counties. That money is available right now. It's thousands of dollars, whether you are in Ohio or Kentucky or California or Alabama or West Virginia or Virginia. I've gotten viewers rent in all of those states. And ultimately, there's always someone say, there's nothing in Ohio. Tell that to the viewer who got $10,000 in Ohio for rent. There's nothing in California. Tell that to the person who got $5,000 in rent in California. And then their reaction is, what? Well, wait a second, where is it? I've only said where it is every single day, 3 times a day. The importance is that if you get the help of this channel, and this is a very big message to end this recording with, if you get help from this channel, if you ultimately get rent from this channel, if you ultimately get utilities from this channel or food or gifts, please join us on Purple Power Live and share that information, because the information that I impart to viewers comes from other viewers. I don't find this information online. It's not covered anywhere online. That's why the success of the channel. That's why this channel is adding about 1,000 subscribers every day. Please subscribe as well. It's because I'm taking winning information and sharing it with other viewers so they can win as well. Ultimately, share the win by just indicating to other viewers where you got the money from as well. And the best example of that is when viewers like last night on Purple Power Live tell me, I got rent from Clark County in Las Vegas, which is what I told them to do. I got it from Community Services. I got rent from Community Services Kentucky, which I told them to do. I got rent from United Way in Ohio, which I told them, from Community Action in Ohio, which I told them to do. And when they continue to show those wins, and those wins manifest themselves more than once, that's where you get the success of a community that helps each other. Join me next on Purple Power Live. Meantime, join me then on early mornings, LATE at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sunday's going to be a big day, so don't miss a single recording. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you shortly on Purple Power Live. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay up LA for more.